What's up legends, Tom here. Apex Season 17 is in full swing, but which legends are the best and most powerful this season? We've consulted with our pro players and Challenger Circuit competitors to answer that question. This is the first of our two tier lists, and this one is aimed at casual players. So let's run through our updated Apex Legends Season 17 tier list. But before that, do you fancy 11,500 Apex coins to spend on the new season? We're giving one lucky ProGuides subscriber Apex coins every 4 weeks this season. To enter, just do these 3 simple steps. Like this video and subscribe to the ProGuides Apex Legends channel. Click the link in the description and sign up to ProGuides.com, subscribing for just $7.99 a month. Then comment your ProGuides username in the comments section below. We'll announce the winner at the end of the month. Want to learn more about what ProGuides can offer? Stick around to the end of the video for all the info on our masterclasses. D tier, Mirage. Mirage has been upgraded to the support class, which gives him 4 more useful utility than when he was in the old skirmisher class, especially now that the support class gives all the players on the team the ability to craft banners, not just the support legend themselves. However, look man, Mirage is still average at best. He's good if you are good, but his abilities do not help you in the way that almost every other legend does. Sorry Mirage mains, but we're staying as haters here. Crypto. Crypto himself has some pretty good abilities, but for casual players he is simply just not worth it. Crypto requires high coordination and teamwork, which is just not something you can achieve with your random teammates. His ability to scan the survey beacon is pretty good, but in most pub and low rank games there simply just won't be anybody alive to make this info that useful anyway. Revenant. We're kind of running out of new things to say about Rev. His rumoured rework just hasn't appeared yet and he really does lack anything to offer. He's bad to play, and frankly just unhealthy for the game in his current form. To make a good effort as Rev, like Crypto, you also need team coordination, which is just making him even worse for casual players. C tier. Old Fusey is just pretty situational. Lots of casual players can struggle with his kit because it all carries a high risk factor. Every single ability of Fuse's has the potential for you to kill yourself, which is something that does happen quite often. If you can find grenades and you are fighting teams in enclosed spaces, Fuse can be really strong, but otherwise he's just pretty average. Lifeline. Respawn have done a good job bringing some power to Lifeline through buffs and the class system, but fundamentally a legend that really excels when you're dying or taking a lot of damage is just never going to be an insane pick. Her care package improvements have really helped Lifeline, but she's still a very negative legend with no real aggressive kit, unlike Gibraltar for instance. Mad Maggie. Maggie has tried really hard to be a strong legend, but there is just something about her that keeps her very situational. Her passive is fine, except the shotguns suck. Her drill is fine, except that people just don't play in buildings. Her ball is alright, but rotating is easier on other legends. The best use of her ball is in very specific close range situations or to counter certain legends. But the problem for Maggie is that people just don't play the legend she counters, like Gibby or Caustic. She is at least quite fun to play, but fighting on her boost pads can be a bit off-putting until you get used to the extra speed that they give you. Newcastle. Like Lifeline, Newcastle is a very negative legend. He excels in those really sweaty games where the cover he can provide can allow you to make or play in very difficult positions and situations. But we're not seeing those situations outside of ALGS or maybe like once in 100 games. So the majority of the time, Newcastle is just pretty weak to use. His revive passive is probably the best part of his kit. The ability to move a player who is down to a safer location is strong, and it can prevent your down teammates from getting thirsted or re-knocked. Watson. You might notice a theme here for casual players. The defensive legends just don't offer much. Watson is great at sitting in a position, letting you level up those evil shield armors without wasting heals thanks to her pylon. However again, when are you ever needing that in the average pub or rank game? It's not that Watson is bad at what she does. She's popular among pro players in tournaments for a reason. It's just that what she does is just not useful for average players. B tier. Ashe. Ashe has scraped into the B tier thanks to a wide range of buffs that she recently received. The improvements to her tether have definitely made the biggest impact to how strong she is. It is a much more useful and quick acting ability now. The old tether was literally comically slow. You could outrun it or avoid it so easily. Her portal does feel like it's not really going very far now that the maps are getting bigger and bigger, and it is quite difficult to execute, and you need coordination and team play for it to really excel, but that portal does still at least give you some selfish abilities in certain situations. Caustic. So Caustic is one of those defensive legends that we shoved into C tier, right? But he's in B tier? Well, why is that, you may ask? Well, Caustic's gas just simply does so much damage. The Nox gas grenade ultimate single-handedly elevates him up a tier just because of how much damage and how devastating it can be in certain situations and when you're in a fight. His gas traps can also be used quite aggressively thanks to the fact you can throw them towards the enemy. Blocking doors with them is also really satisfying, but only for the Caustic player. Rampart. Rampart has recently seen her entrance into the world of Apex Legends esports, with several teams starting to use her. Rampart has been on a little bit of a journey in Apex. On release, and for the first few seasons that she was in the game, she was really bad, like really bad. Then, Respawn have slowly increased her power bit by bit. The biggest change was being able to use her Sheila from the hip instead of only when placed down, and now that makes Rampart quite dynamic, and there's quite a lot of situations where she can be pretty useful. However, just watch that strafe speed on the Sheila because that is slow, and lots of players get one clip when trying to rip that Sheila out in close range combat. Did you know that the second you place her wall down, it blocks damage? That can allow you to wall off grenades and bang ults at a second's notice, and is a really handy thing to have. Vantage. Vantage is alright, she's kind of flown under the radar in recent seasons, but she's still a pretty decent legend. Her sniper is great in the right hands, but her echo relocation is pretty underwhelming. The best case of Vantage is really maximizing the information that she can give you. Scan those survey beacons, identify what legends teams have on them and where the solo and duo players are, then chase them down relentlessly. Aggression is your best friend when playing Vantage. Bloodhound. Bloodhound's new White Raven mechanic certainly takes some getting used to. Clearly, not being able to spam those scans in your ultimate is always going to bring Bloodhound down from their peak a few seasons ago. However, information is always useful, and the scan ability they have and the tracking via the Raven is still strong. Especially in those annoying pub games with 3 squads left in zone 2, you can let that Raven guide you to the action and not waste ages and ages running around trying to find where people are hiding. Gibraltar. Gibraltar is a flexible legend with offensive and defensive power, which is a great combination for a legend. His bubble is an especially strong ability, and combining this with a good shotgun can make fights really simple. The bubble can isolate players and allow you to take really easy fights. However, Gibby is very unforgiving to play. His large hitbox means you can get caught out very easily, and this makes him a difficult legend for casual players to play. That's what holds him back in this tier list the most. Horizon. Horizon's nerfs have meant that she has had to be completely re-evaluated as a legend. She is no longer capable of sucking players to any object or surface with a black hole and then launching a million grenades into everybody trapped inside it. She can no longer ascend to great heights and one-clip someone from the sky. Now, Horizon is about mobility and positioning. She is great for taking height, moving around the map and taking angles. Her black hole is still good, it's just nowhere near as busted as before. A tier, Catalyst. Catalyst got a big buff this season. Her Dark Veil wall can now no longer be countered by a Seer ultimate, so it truly now blocks all scans, just like everybody assumed it would when she released. What Catalyst has really provided since she's come into Apex is great flexibility. You can use her kit to push or use it to escape, you can play in buildings with her abilities, you can move around in the open with her abilities. She pretty much offers something for almost every situation, and what she does offer is really positive as well. Taking control of doors with a Catalyst is very underused, especially in fights. Grab control of a door and the enemies just can't open it. Sometimes that is a really useful thing to do. Catalyst has proven really strong and is definitely worth your attention in Season 17 if you're not already playing her. Pathfinder. The buffs that Pathfinder got last season made a huge difference. He feels a lot more viable to play and of course is as fun as ever to use. His zipline is a genuine rotational tool now, especially against casual players who are much less likely to be able to shoot you off the zipline. Grappling fits that criteria of aggressive and defensive power. You can grapple onto your opponents or grapple to safety. Just watch his hitbox because Pathy is still a little bit of a fridge. Seer. Sorry guys, but Seer is still good. How could he not be? The information he provides is just insane for any level of player. You can literally never be ratted on when you have Seer, you can cancel your opponent's heals, and you basically have wall hacks guaranteed for every fight you take, especially if you have an ultimate accelerant or a gold helmet. A lot of players don't like Seer because of what he gives to a team for free, but he's good, so we can't deny him a place in the A tier in this tier list. Ballistic. Welcome to Apex Ballistic. He is released very strong. But what is great about Ballistic is he's both fun to play, but also fun to play with. That is a great bonus and a really well designed legend. His ultimate is insane. When you combine that with a strong sling weapon like a Havoc or a Rampage, you have a really deadly combination. His Smart Pistol Tactical isn't as powerful as it seemed from the trailers. It does take some effort and some skill to lock on to an opponent with it, and frankly this is a relief because it means Ballistic is just not a total nightmare to play against. Valkyrie. It's been a long time since we had Valkyrie below the S tier, so what's knocked her down into A tier? Well, the answer is the new evac towers. Look, these are not as good as her Skyward Dive by any means, but this just means there are now less situations where you need a Valkyrie. This has knocked her down a peg for most levels of gameplay. Of course, look, Valk is still a very strong pick. She has movement, aggression and escape abilities and is a very well-rounded legend, but she's just not as important as she was before the Evac Tower was added to the game. Loba. Loba might be one of the most underrated legends by casual players. She offers a lot to a team she plays with. She has all the support buffs that we mentioned earlier, as well as that fantastic black market. The black market is strong in two main ways. One, you can always find what you need. Casual players tend to have a few favourite weapons. Loba is a great way to guarantee that you're always going to be able to grab those. Secondly, Loba is the best legend for reviving your team. Throw it on a black market, grab a weapon and some ammo, and then dip ASAP before everybody is running at your position because they heard the res. Her movement ability, which is the bracelet, is also much improved from when she released, so it's not necessarily something that you're never going to be able to execute well. Give Loba a try. S tier, Octane. Octane in the S tier, I hear you cry? Well, for casual players, we think Octane is one of the best legends there is. All three of our S tier legends we think are the best three legends for new players to pick up, and that makes them strong picks for average players. First of all, Octane is just very fun to play. Tearing around the map as Octane is a really fun time, but he's also offering you both offensive and defensive power. The pad in his stim can be used to either chase people down or escape from tough situations, and people in these lower skill levels are much less likely to one-clip you out the air, which makes the pad a much stronger and safer choice. Octane is also very simple to learn and understand. He has got nowhere near as much room for error as a number of the other legends in the game. This just makes him such a good legend for this level of gameplay. Wraith. Wraith is a classic pick. She is the OG Apex legend, and just like Octane, her kit is simple to understand and she's fun to play, which makes her great for casual players. Her kit is a little bit more defensive minded than Octane, but her portal is a really strong ability now for rotating since it had the extra 75 meters added onto its distance, and it helps you move around the map. You can use it aggressively, which unlike the Octane pad, you can come back if things get a little bit too spicy for your liking. Her phase can be tracked visually, so make sure you're being careful where you come out of it. Try not to end that in the open. Overall, her kit is very strong and she has a pretty small hitbox as well. Before we get into who the best legend this season is, if you've identified a new legend you want to main but think you need some guidance on how to master that legend, ProGuides has you covered. Led by Apex legends such as Snipedown, ProGuides has a range of resources to help you rank up this season. Why not book a session with one of our Apex Predator coaches? Or subscribe for $7.99 monthly to access a range of resources. Check out the link underneath the video and take the step you need to excel in Apex Legends Season 17. Bangalore. No matter the skill level, Bangalore is undisputedly the best legend in Apex right now. Her abilities are in that sweet spot of having both offensive and defensive uses. She's fun to play, but frankly her kit is just nuts. The assault class that Bangalore is in is by far the most powerful as well. If you're on Bangalore and you have a Digi-Threat scope, it is literally just GG's for anyone who dares to get in your way. Smoke up on your opponents and go to town. That's our casual level Apex Legends Season 17 tier list done and dusted. Stay tuned to subscribe for our higher skill tier list, which will be aimed at those diamond and above 3 stack players. Until next time, legends. Yay!